Family Weekend begins this afternoon. Our Louie Genovese is live at Randy's to bring you the latest updates.
At any point in the day, you'll have to scramble to find parking after 5 o'clock.
Parking troubles at SBU. We spoke with student government and a student about finding a solution.
And 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month. Our Jah'Neyce Washington learns more about salsa dancing.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weekend forecast.
And Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski brings you the weekend weather. SBU-TV starts now.
Good morning and welcome to SBU-TV on this lovely Friday morning. I'm Rich Williams.
And I'm Anthony Silva. Our families are in the studio this morning watching us.
That's right. It's a packed family weekend. We got a lot going on this week, right, Anthony?
Yes, we do. And our Louie Genovese is live from Randy's up the river. Good morning, Louie.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm here at Randy's up the river, where this place is expected to be mass capacity, according to owner Randy Korkowitz. Now, we all know St. Bonaventure Family Weekend does a huge impact on the local businesses. Some parents even saying they had to spend up to $360 a night for a hotel room at the Fairfield Marriott Inn. And let's not forget places like Don Tequila, the Burton, and Beef and Barrel are good places if you want good food and a fun atmosphere. I know my parents are going to enjoy it. And if you're a Bonaventure student who has family coming up, I'm sure yours will too. Anthony, back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Louie.
And now for your family weekend activities. On Friday, there's a polar spray at 5:30 in the Richter Center parking lot, and later on, music and s'mores that'll take place at the pavilion outside Devereaux Hall. On Saturday, the Family Weekend Festival will take place in the Richter Center parking lot again from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. A variety of club sports will play throughout the weekend, including softball, baseball, hockey, as well as men's and women's soccer. At night, there will be dueling pianos from 7 to 10 p.m. at the Rathskeller. And there's also plenty of Division I sports throughout the weekend. We'll hear more on that later on in sports. And students, are you having trouble parking this semester? Our Sydney Labieski spoke with a student and an SGA representative looking for a solution.
1,049 student cars have been registered for parking passes this year, as opposed to the 1,200 passes registered the year prior. So the big question is, why are students having difficulty finding parking spots if there are less cars on campus?
Parking situation over at the townhouses, I feel like there's not enough of it, because at any point in the day you'll have to scramble to find parking after 5 o'clock. I work at the Richter until 11 o'clock 2 nights a week, and I can't find parking, so I have to park over by Francis in those townhouses and walk over. And it would be nice to be able to just park and walk in rather than have to walk all that distance from where I don't live.
I'm here at the student parking lot behind admissions building here at St. Bonaventure University, where they recorded back-to-back record-breaking freshman classes. This leaves students wondering, where will they park on campus?
We spoke with student government representative Kashan Patel to find a solution.
I actually don't agree with a lot of people saying there's a shortage of spots. So we recognize that with each student class coming in, that it's successively getting bigger. I think we anticipate that happening over the next couple of years as well. So increasing parking lot size is one immediate fix that can happen. So we're looking at that, maybe something for next year if the class size gets too big and our planning for the parking lot hasn't finished yet or it hasn't started.
For SBU-TV, I'm Sydney Labieski.
Parking pass prices have since increased from $150 to $220 over the past 4 years. However, the university does not plan to increase the price next year.
Let's take a look at your weekend weather with WKBW's Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weekend forecast. For your Friday, mostly sunny, temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Gorgeous Friday. Saturday, more cloud cover, a little bit cooler with the clouds, temperatures in the upper 60s. On Sunday, we will have some scattered showers rolling through with temperatures in the low to mid 60s.
St. Francis Week is a week-long celebration of St. Francis's life. Event starts this upcoming Tuesday with the presentation of Lady Jacoba cookies from 8 to 10 a.m. outside the McGinley Carney Center. The week of activities will be capped off with the events held on October 4th, with the blessing of the animals at 1:30, a mass celebrating the feast of St. Francis at 4, and a special feast day dinner in the Hickey Dining Hall at 5.
It's time to say goodbye to summer as the fall equinox happens this Saturday. During the fall equinox, the sun crosses the equator from the north side to the south side. Not only does that mean that temperatures are going to drop, but days become shorter than nights. The sun continues to rise later and nightfall arrives earlier, which causes these short days.
And some new changes for voters ahead of the 2024 election. Voters can now vote early by mail for the first time in New York State. All voters have to do is register and request a mail-in ballot. Early voting first came to New York State in 2020, and Governor Kathy Hochul says these new laws signify another step forward.
An individual was caught on camera stealing an unlocked bike outside of Francis Hall on September 17th. The same individual was caught on camera on September 20th attempting to cut off the locks of a bicycle outside of Gardens East, but was unsuccessful. Safety and security are working with the local law enforcement to identify and catch the suspect. In the meantime, students are recommended to lock all bikes and vehicles on campus by safety and security.
As the United Auto Workers strike reaches the 1-week mark, more and more workers are getting laid off. The union and General Motors have spent the past few days going back and forth in negotiations, arguing the facts were on their side. The union began its strike in order to secure higher wages as well as a longer work week. Specifics regarding the negotiations have not been made public, as union members have not voted on agreement with General Motors. As of this morning, there is no timetable for an end to the strike.
And it's that time of year again. We're nearing the start of flu season and students are starting to get sick. I bring you tips on staying healthy.
And now, taking a look at downtown Olean on this just gorgeous Friday morning, blue skies throughout the day. We'll be back right after this.
He shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right, because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Baby, you see, I cannot set you free. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go.
When I got the opportunity to get her, there wasn't no choice. I told myself, I'm gonna take custody of my daughter. It's my baby. That's what we're supposed to do as men. Take care of our home, build a foundation, you know what I'm saying? Love, our money, she's my purpose. I'm here to walk with her, hold her hand until she can walk alone. Ain't nothing like being a father in this world.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
It's that time of year again where students start getting sick. This week, I spoke with a sick student and gave tips on how to stay healthy during the semester.
Many college students get sick throughout the year and it can spread quickly.
Once everyone's together for a while, stuff spreads quick.
And it seems like it's always the same time of year.
Once you hit that first month, everyone's been here, or even the first 3 weeks, everyone just starts to get sick, and then everyone's living in such close corners. All of a sudden, everyone's sick.
Even people who never get sick tend to get sick once college starts.
I never used to get sick, and then when I came here, I got really sick for 2 months straight.
Students share many things from basketballs to bathrooms to even food. So how can students prevent the inevitable?
The amount of sleep students get really impacts how often they get sick.
The lack of sleep definitely takes a toll on your immune system, especially if your body's not used to that. And then being exposed to so many things, it's like a little bit of overload.
Students should try to get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. Another thing that impacts how frequently students get sick is how much nutrients they consume. Students should be eating at least 2 meals per day, and the students that are satisfied with their meals get sick less often than the students that are dissatisfied with the food options, according to a study done by Dr. Virginia Adams O'Connell. Exercising is also a key factor in preventing students from getting sick. Students who don't exercise are 2 times more likely to get sick than students who do exercise. From SBU-TV, I'm Anthony Da Silva. Stay healthy, Bonaventure.
One thing I did find interesting is that the workload of a student does not really impact how often they get sick.
Ovidio Guzman Lopez, a son of notorious Sinaloa cartel leader El Chapo, pleaded not guilty to federal charges in Chicago Monday. The charges include drug trafficking and money laundering, among others. The appearance in the courtroom marked his first since being extradited to the United States from Mexico. Mexican security forces arrested Guzman Lopez back in January.
The month of August posted the largest monthly increase of inflation so far this year. The consumer price index rose 0.6% in the month of August and up 3.7% from a year ago. CPI measures the prices paid by people for goods and services. Energy prices increased the most, rising 5.6% during the month, which includes a 10.6% surge in gas. While inflation increased, the average household earnings decreased by 0.5% for the month.
Kraft is recalling roughly 83,000 cases of individually wrapped Kraft Singles American cheese that might be, quote, unpleasant. Kraft said the faulty American cheese singles could pose a choking hazard. A company statement characterized the problem as a, quote, temporary issue with one of its wrapping machines. Kraft issued the recall after several customers complained of finding the plastic on its cheese. There haven't been any reported injuries or health issues, and the faulty machine has been fixed.
Dancing is a form of expression, and salsa is a form of dancing. This week, our Jah'Neyce Washington learned about this style of dance.
Latin Americans coined the term salsa to describe the new sound of Latin music in New York in the 1960s and 70s. Dancers adopt the name for the style of dance that is also evolving with the music.
So here we go.
Salsa instructor Ana Marie Ruiz has been teaching dance for 27 years. She says salsa is one of the most popular dances practiced.
Bringing salsa to the studio was an addition that we wanted to add as our Take 5, which is 5 weeks and you're done. We have different styles, so salsa was one that took, and it just went like hot cakes.
There are many different styles of salsa, but club style is the most popular one.
There's the New York style, which is more from the Cuban era, and that's like the 1940s, 1950, that would be, and that's what you see. And then the club style that you see all over when everybody's with more tropical. I mean, there's so many styles out there.
Since salsa dancing is made for 2 partners, I'm bringing in fellow SBU-TV reporter Gannon Horning. For SBU-TV, I'm Jah'Neyce Washington.
Salsa classes will be offered for the first time in Olean in March.
And it's week 3 in the NFL season. SBU-TV's Patrick Vogel previews the Bills matchup this Sunday against the Washington Commanders.
And now taking a look at downtown Olean on this glorious Friday morning. Looks pretty nice outside. We'll be back after this.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
This weekend, the Buffalo Bills head to Landover, Maryland for their Week 3 matchup against the Washington Commanders. Our Patrick Vogel previews the game.
The Bills have a challenge ahead with the Commanders, especially facing a talented defensive unit.
Defensive line. They've invested heavily in their D-line over the years, drafting high players. Obviously, Chase Young comes to mind. Deron Payne. They have a lot of talented guys up front.
The Bills are going to have a plan going into Washington to neutralize the defense.
The Bills are going to have to be smart about this, and that's keeping tight ends back to kind of chip and help there. It might be keeping James Cook back there for a second to kind of get a hit on a guy before he goes out.
The Commanders are known for defense, but the offensive unit could still pose a challenge.
Offensively, they're going against an Eric Bieniemy-led offense, and Bieniemy knows this Bills team very well from his time with the Chiefs. I like what I've seen from the Commanders so far. Young quarterback in Sam Howell, fitting in some tight window passes here early on, 2 really good wide receivers and a good running game as well.
In order to win, the Bills must play smart defensively.
For the Bills, it's the gap integrity. It's making sure that you know your assignments and your role. And if you can stop the run game and make Sam Howell one-dimensional, that's going to really help this team.
Overall, if the Bills play smart football, they will leave with the win.
I think that the Bills are favored by about 6.5 points at this point for a reason. They have more talent. I like Washington in terms of where they're heading. I just think they're a year or two away from really being able to hang with the upper echelon teams of the NFL.
From SBU-TV, I'm Patrick Vogel.
Commanders-Bills kicks off at 1:30 from FedEx Field on Sunday.
Contract as the team's head coach. This comes a week after a USA Today article was published alleging Tucker had non-consensual phone sex with a woman who counseled the football team about relationship violence. Desmond Hardwick, a student at the university, shared his thoughts.
It was a surprise to everybody. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw, what was going on. And it's just really disturbing, I don't think it's any place, for that type of stuff, on campus.
The Spartans safeties coach will act as the interim head coach for the remainder of the season.
Last Thursday, Maersk presented the world's first container vessel that can run on green methanol. Green methanol is an environmentally friendly source of energy made from renewable resources. This container ship has 2 engines, one with regular fuel, the other green methanol. The new vessel emits 100 tons less of carbon dioxide per day compared to diesel ships. The ship was originally ordered in 2021, and 125 more have been ordered by various shipping companies. The ship is really a trendsetter for the industry, according to Vincent Clerc, CEO of Maersk.
If a business has 4 or more employees, they must now include compensation ranges in all advertisements for jobs and promotions. This is outlined in the new pay transparency law signed by Governor Kathy Hochul. The law doesn't require employers to create a posting for every available job. Other states that have passed similar laws include California and Colorado.
And coming up in sports, we take a look into the weekend ahead, plus an interview with women's tennis newest transfer.
And taking a look at downtown Halloween one more time, still beautiful outside. We'll be back right after this.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Look at that. It's so sad.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Good morning and welcome back to SBU-TV Sports. I'm Tyler Everett. The St. Bonaventure women's tennis team has seen a lot of additions to their new squad, including a player who came from across the pond. SBU-TV Sports reporter Allie Elkins has the story.
Good.
For Abby Tyler, one of the newest additions to the St. Bonaventure women's tennis team, moving away from home was a big adjustment.
Coming as a freshman and that moment, like saying goodbye to your family after moving in, you definitely come to realize that you are like on your own, as it were.
Abby, who's originally from the UK, found herself in the United States attending Campbell University and then eventually transferring to St. Bonaventure for her junior year.
So yeah, obviously I was a freshman 2 years ago at Campbell University, and I must say it was a tricky start to begin with adjusting to life in America rather than being at home.
Tennis has taken Abby a lot of places in her life, and transition isn't always easy. But according to Abby, her decision to come to St. Bonaventure was the right one, and the team has welcomed her with open arms.
Say I'm a part of the women's tennis, that made the transition a lot easier because, you know, you're surrounded by a group of like-minded girls who are all in the same boat because most of them are international too. So we're all kind of experiencing the same thing with being away from home, which is nice.
Abby might be far from home, but she's found a community here at St. Bonaventure. For SBU-TV, I'm Allie Elkins.
Tyler and the women's tennis team will play their next road game on September 30th when they compete in the ITA Regionals in New Jersey. And now on to some men's soccer action. The Bonnies defeat the Canisius Golden Griffs with a score of 4-0. Goals from Yavit and Brito and Catalano recording 3 saves. This makes the Bonnies 2-0 against all other Little 3 teams. Bonaventure's next game will be at home on Saturday the 23rd against George Mason at 6 p.m. The Bonnies are currently 3-3-1 and have a chance to have a record over 500 with a win on Family Weekend. The women's Bonnies soccer team traveled to New York City to clash with the Fordham Rams. To start off the first half, Ami Kamori had this beautiful strike to put the team up by 1, but that wasn't enough. Fordham scored a goal before the half ended. For Ami Kamori, the second half started just where it ended, scoring this goal that dips right over the keeper to give the Bonnies the lead. Kira Gottinger had a stellar game between the posts with 11 total saves, including this breakaway stop. The women are now sitting atop the A10 with 5 points through 3 games. The Bonnies will be hosting Duquesne this Sunday at 1. The game will be streamed on ESPN+. And the St. Bonaventure men's rugby team prepares for battle with the visiting Army Black Knights this weekend. The Bonnies are coming off an impressive showing against rival Kutztown last week, in which the Pack won 44-22. Army looks for their second straight victory after defeating Penn State 26-6 in Week 1. Expectations currently sit at a high level for Bonaventure. The Pack holds a #1 rank in the NCR Top 20 Coaches poll. Assistant coach Danny Neighbor had this to say about the expectations for the match.
I think I've been more confident than ever coming up against a strong Army team. Obviously playing Army and Navy are two of our biggest games each year, so the guys always get geared up for it. But
catch the game on ESPN+ at noon or fill the hill and support the Bonnies in person during Family Weekend. And the Buffalo Sabres opened training camp Thursday, hitting the ice for the first time since the Prospect Challenge just a few weeks ago. Expectations for the season are high, with many fans hoping the team will break its 12-year playoff drought. Team General Manager Kevin Adams spoke about the team's future, including signing star defenseman Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Power to long-term extensions. The Sabres end the weekend with their first preseason game against the Washington Capitals this Sunday. And now some weekend ahead for you. Cross-country runs at the Lock Haven Invitational, coming off a second-place finish in their first meet. Both soccer teams host A10 opponents, playing George Mason and Duquesne. And women's tennis competes in their second match of the year at the UB Invite in Buffalo. And women's rugby plays Fredonia, while the men go head-to-head with Army. An eventful family weekend ahead. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and X for all your Bonaventure sports coverage. That's it for me. Back over to you, Rich and Anthony.
Thank you, Tyler. We're going to take one final look at your weekend weather with WKBW Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski.
Hey everyone, I'm Chief Meteorologist Aaron Menkowski with your SBU-TV weekend forecast. For your Friday, mostly sunny, temperatures in the low to mid 70s. Gorgeous Friday. Saturday, more cloud cover, a little bit cooler with the clouds, temperatures in the upper 60s. On Sunday, we will have some scattered showers rolling through with temperatures in the low to mid 60s.
And to wrap up our show this morning, we would like to congratulate our SBU-TV colleague Rich Williams on receiving a Tim Russer Media Career Scholarship from the Buffalo Broadcasters Association last night. A senior broadcast journalism major, Rich is a 3-year veteran of our newsrooms. The Buffalo Broadcasters recognize Rich for his field work right here in the greater Olean community, as well as his dedication to the journalism industry. Rich, congratulations so much, as we all aspire to be just like you.
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you to the whole SBU-TV crew, as long with all of our Jan Dooley School faculty. It may have been an individual honor, but it would not have been possible without all of you guys, so thank you. And with that, we've reached the end of our show this morning. So for SBU TV, I'm Rich Williams.
And I'm Anthony Silva. Have a wonderful Friday and family weekend.